find you here.
They're going to show themselves now. There are videos where they're in trees throwing things at people. They show the video.
We don't know exactly what it is that can be disclosed, but what if it turns out that we're an agricultural product? You know, that we are being harvested for something, or we're being allowed to breed and kind of a science experiment. Let's see where this goes. And then when it's time to end the experiment, I mean, I'm not sure people can handle it.
Man, there's a lot going on in the world. Look, this video right here is not for the weak. I'm not trying to convince you of anything. This is just what's being talked about amongst the internet. There's a lot of different theories of what can possibly be coming and happening. Let's smash that like button. Let's get this video to like 15,000 likes. Let's have a good time while we're still here, because this one right here is a little bit crazy. Just know, if you're going through a tough time, you're not in this by yourself. We're going through this thing called life together. Let's get it.
They say the only way to kill giants was by drowning them. But the flood wasn't just a punishment for human corruption. It was a divine purge of something much darker. In Genesis 6:4, the Bible says, "The Nephilim were on the earth in those days, and also afterward, when the sons of God went to the daughters of humans and had children by them." These weren't ordinary beings. They were giants, violent, unnatural, a race born of rebellion. Humanity lost control, and only God's judgment could wipe out what never should have existed. The flood lasted 40 days and nights, long enough to silence the wicked and bury the giants beneath the deep. But here's the mystery. That same verse says the Nephilim existed after the flood too. So, did they survive? Are they still hidden in shadows, in forbidden places? The Bible doesn't say. Science can't explain. But the legend lives on.
Enoch, you have been chosen by the Most High. And I will reveal to you what no man has seen. The mysteries hidden since the beginning.
I would find you here. Please, we need your help.
Come out, little voice of God.
Hell nah.
Lord hides now.
I wasn't scared of the giant so much. It was just like, bruh, if I'm a go, y'all see how dirty his damn mouth was? I just gotta get that out of there. If you gonna bite me, it better not be with no goddamn mouth like that. that was terrifying for me, boy. God dog.
Hey yo, can you hear it? The underground sound when I kick with the venom. Everybody get down when I. Yo, can you hear it? The underground sound when I kick with the venom. Everybody get down when I. Easy, meeny, miny, mo, I flip it off the cliff.
Now, I need y'all to understand something. There's something weird that's taking place on the planet right now. And it's all based on the cosmological alignments that's taking place on the planet, because it's basically a timestamp. Now, they said that the red moon is not supposed to be here until September 7th or 8th. It is 2 a.m. September 5th. And you can see the bioluminescent frequency that is being extracted from the moon, because one thing you got to understand about the moon is what manipulated the human circulatory system to the point where it caused chromosome breakage. Chromosome breakage is why you have, telomeres being shorted. to where you're not able to activate the junk DNA because it's all tether connected to the Van Allen belt. So everything that you're seeing taking place right now when it comes to the moon, these are basically celestial timestamps for the reset. All this stuff that's going on with Trump right now, I keep telling y'all, this is Luciferian moon magic. It's based on the coronation of kingship to where he's crowned prince over a totalitarian dystopia that is based on merging humans with cybernetics, right? Because that's the beast frequency. The beast frequency is cultivated by the moon. So everything that you're seeing taking place right now, these are timestamps for the reset.
More cloaked ships are being spotted everywhere, every day. Listen, I just got this video. It's out of Chicago, Illinois from the 18th. I'm gonna play you the video. I'll come back at the end.
Nah, no bullshit.
You guys moving?
Right here in Chicago, we are in the shop. What the fuck is that?
There be a lot of weird shit over here. I got a Jamaican.
What the fuck is that?
It be hawks and eagles over there. It be all kinds of
What the fuck is that?
In alignment at the same time. You see what the fuck?
And I'm hearing sirens.
Yeah, aliens coming. It's some back here. There's some more coming.
I saw people coming. There's gonna be some black people. They gonna be like, yeah.
I bet the aliens some black motherfuckers with superpowers.
If you're following the Three-Eye Atlas story, every time something new is posted about it, it just does not seem to add up. What keeps complicating things even more and more, as you can see here, this thing is an asteroid. That's exactly what it looks like. And they're saying it could move faster than the speed of light. And it's also the size of Manhattan and could get here in mid-November. There's also alleged allegations that they had claimed that they have made contact with whatever this is that's heading toward Earth. You have something, as you see here, the size of Manhattan, moving as fast as the speed of light, and it can get here by November? So does that add up to any of you? The one thing I'm going to say here, and I want to be very clear about, something is coming and something may happen. Why? Because it's now being publicly spoken about in the news media. Here's just one headline from the New York Post out of New York. Manhattan-sized interstellar object, AI Atlas, could release mini probes that will appear as UAPs. That's what experts are warning. This is why I always say to you, keep your head on a swivel. Pay attention to what is going on when it comes to things like this. Because if something is going to happen, or if something were to happen, keep it in the back of your mind. They already know what it is. That's why you're starting to see these news reports and people starting to talk about this on social media. Keep this thought in the back of your mind. Do you honestly believe that something that big could be coming this way, and they are clueless about it with all of the technology that we have and the world has? No one knows what's going on. Think about that. So also keep in mind that in the upcoming months, you may see things maybe in the sky or maybe on the ground. And you're going to say to yourself, what was that? Or what is that? Keep it in the back of your mind, because we are being prepared for something that could be coming or could already be almost here. Let me know your thoughts in the comments on this. And as always, I'd love to hear from you.
They're going to show themselves now. There are videos where they're in trees throwing things at people. They show the video. There's a guy in the south, and he's in the trees are making noise, and branches are being thrown at the guy. And he's filming it. He slows down the film, and you see jinn in there. They look like the jinn from Alien movies, big eyes, gray, and they're throwing branches at the man. I mean, the time is coming now. They don't want
But I put this do-rag on way too tight, boy. This joint about to make my head fall off, right? Like my head getting numb. I'm gonna keep going though. I done loosen it up.
Well, in Luke 21:11, Jesus makes this mysterious statement, which theologians, even Greek translators, they haven't dared to translate because it's just so weird. And in that verse, Jesus said at the very end of the age, there would be great sights from the heavens, and there would be fearful sights. Well, my specialty is Greek. And when Jesus said there will be great sights from the heavens, the word from is the word apo, and in Greek it describes things descending out of the heavens.
Wow.
So Jesus didn't tell us what it was, but he said at the end of the age, people will begin to see things coming out of the heavens. Then he said, fearful sights. And in Greek, that is the word phobotron. It's a derivative of the word phobos, which means fear. But when it becomes phobotron, the Greeks only use that word one way and no other way. It is the word for monsters. And that is a literal translation. And that's why translators never translate it right. They couldn't understand what this monster thing was. So when you put it together, Jesus said at the end of the age, people are going to see things apo, descending directly out of the heavens, and there's going to be the appearance of monsters in the end of the age. Well, that's what was going on before the flood. Exactly. And Jesus said it will be replicated again at the very end of the age.
Oh my God! Whoa!
Recently, sky observers from around the world have been uploading videos in the footage where there was once only blue sky and white clouds. Clear images of cities suddenly appear. Skyscrapers, streets, lights, even moving silhouettes like reflections from another world hanging above our skies. Scientists attempt to explain it, some suggesting it's light refraction similar to a mirage. But the problem is, these cities didn't appear over deserts or oceans, but over places like New York, Beijing, and Paris, lasting for tens of minutes with details precise enough to almost make out building outlines even more astonishing. Some researchers propose this might be a brief leak from a parallel dimension, a momentary overlap between our reality and another world, allowing us to glimpse another civilization through the sky.
Thank you, God, for your covering, because who's that looking behind me, y'all? Who is that looking behind me? There's no cars behind me. Look, there's no cars behind me. Who's that? And he's walking. Look.
Oh, he not walking. He was full speed. You was driving down the street. And the thing is chasing after the car. That's why everybody's selling their Teslas, man. That's why they're hard to sell right now.
I haven't been able to stop thinking about what you've seen with your own eyes. What were they? Tell me what you saw. Just point blank. What did you see?
Fucking homes. Like somebody's house. Like not people houses, not.
Inyukun homes.
Yep. And I said, well, we need to stop work. I said, this is their land. We can't be going on their land. And they were like, oh, can we just go this? And I said, no. I said, this is some real shit. So when we flew over, you could see how they were like stacked on each other, like to form these walls.
They were big, heavy rocks.
They were boulders, like, it wasn't like rocks just scattered anywhere, everywhere. It was perfectly square.
What can do that, y'all?
I mean, Inuka people didn't make houses out of rocks.
No.
We made houses out of sod.
Yeah, sod and tundra.
And tents, and then a lot of tents in the summer, and moved around a lot.
Yep.
I never heard of rocks. We always just been tundra. Tundra's warmer.
Yep, and who else has a house on the side of the mountain beside bears? Yeah, that's true. But then the day we got back to Borne, everything just went off. All the electricity off. There was 5 helicopters. They flew in 2 mechanics. They looked through everything. There was nothing wrong with them helicopters. Nothing. Nothing wrong with them.
But they wouldn't fly.
They wouldn't fly. They wouldn't even turn.
Sound like something with some technology, huh? Wonder what that could be.
Guess what, folks? Elliot Marzulli's here, and he knows everything about the Kandahar Giants.
No, the Smithsonian took them all, and they deny everything, of course.
It's interesting that they have no
Recently.
interest in it whatsoever, but
Yeah.
yet it's theirs, and
Yeah.
they don't want to talk about
They
it.
don't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, do you think there's something more sinister to
Absolutely.
like the
All
collection of DNA from Nephilim potentially in
Yeah.
the government? And what are your thoughts or theories on that?
When we broke the story on the Kandahar Giant, that's our story. That's Richard Shaw and my story. It's our story.
No way.
That's our story. We broke the story on it. That's our film. We talked of a shooter. We talked of a second witness. We disguised their voice and blotted out their faces. That's our stuff.
Do you mind just giving a rundown
all.
of that?
Rick was on a show talking about our Watchers series, and as he's doing that, there's a caller that calls in, and so the show ends, but the host holds the caller over because they're talking off air, and this guy, we call him a shooter. Yeah, I saw a giant. I was in the Kandahar province. We shot it, and Rick goes, "Oh my gosh!" And they get phone numbers, emails. I'm on the phone with this guy the next day. And I spoke to the shooter 3 or 4 times. I met him in person in Ohio. And then we flew him out to California. We filmed him. So we vetted him first. He showed me all of his cards, all of his military stuff, blah, blah, blah. And every time he talks about the encounter, one part he breaks down and cries. He did it 3 or 4 times before we even got him on film. And so the story is this, that it's 2002, 2001, somewhere in that. I could go back and look at the exact, I just don't remember it. But right around in that one. So we're in Afghanistan. We're looking for high-value targets. American military looking for high-value targets in Afghanistan. And a patrol is dispatched. They miss their rally point. They miss their second rally point, their third rally point. Nobody knows where these guys are. And they're gone. So the next morning, another patrol is dispatched to the same location to try to follow this trail, see where they go. So they begin to follow the trail in the Kandahar province. And they find themselves way up high, overlooking the valley. There's like a cliff, very wide cliff, like a ledge, but it's not really a ledge. It's more like 20 or 30 feet, across. So it's you could camp there if you wanted to. And above that ledge is a cave. And as they're coming around the corner and they see all this, they start to see what looks like parts of radios, parts of uniforms, bones, blood. They're freaking out. And before anybody can do anything, a nightmare comes out of the cave, because that's what it is. A 12-footer, 14-footer, got flaming red hair, 6 fingers, 6 toes. He is screaming at the top of his lungs. He is brandishing a lance, and he's like this. And one of the men break away and start firing at this thing. This thing moves with such agility and speed that it stuns the rest. Everybody's like, how is he moving this fast? And before anybody can do anything, this soldier is impaled, and the giant's holding it up, screaming at the top of its lungs. Somebody yells, shoot him in the head, shoot him in the head. So they open up fire, and they basically decapitate him. What does that sound like, David and Goliath, right? They decapitate him. Down he goes. He's dead. And at this point, the patrol kind of comes into their senses. The stench is unbelievable. The shooter told us, and I've never smelled this, and I don't want to, it's like a pile of corpses that have been sitting in the sun for 2 weeks.
Oh.
Right? The stench is unbelievable. And some people were actually heaving, throwing up from it. They radio him The guy that's been lanced, he's dead. He dies. He succumbs to his wounds. And a big, Jolly Green Giant helicopter comes in. They crate this thing up in a net. They fly him out of there. The patrol goes back and they write everything down. And then they're told, no, that's not going to fly. Rewrite the story without the giant. So they do that. So you say, well, that's a colorful story, LA. And it is. I get that. We have a second witness who was there a few years after the event, who talked about the rumor going around the base about the Giant of Kandahar, but you were not supposed to talk about it. And then when they were doing cave training, he's on film doing this. We disguised his face and his voice. He's on film doing this. So he's there and they're doing cave training, cave fighting training, right? And they're told, when you're in a cave and if you confront something, aim high. Excuse me, what? Aim high? You mean like here? No. High, like 9 to 10 feet high. And there, all the soldiers are going like, what are we looking at here? This confirms.
Right.
Years later, I was a gentleman called me up and wanted to get in touch. He never showed up. He said he was part of a government operation that received the giant bodies from overseas. And then
more than one.
And then processed them to go to Wright-Patterson Field for genetic, right? That's what they're taking, the super soldiers. Later on, years after, I've had people come up to me at conferences and just go, LA, I want to tell you everything about the Kandahar Giant. It's real. I know. I can't come on the record. I'm active military. And he just backs up and walks away. I was threatened by a guy from a deep state because of the work on the Kandahar Giant. He shows up at a conference in Dallas and he goes, shows me his badge, and I have a bodyguard with me. And he goes, what kind of car are you driving? At that time, I had a 1991. This is like circa 2015, circa 2016. So I was driving a 1991 Mercedes-Benz SL500. I called it the go-kart because I live up in the canyon. I bought it for next to nothing and restored it. It's just so much fun to drive. It's ridiculous, right? So, I bought it for like, I think $8,000 or something, right? And restored it. It was really cool. And he goes, what kind of car? I go, I have a Mercedes SL500, blah, blah, blah. And he goes, does it have a computer? And I go, yeah. And he goes, well, we can take the computer and make it so you can have a fiery crash. Where have we heard this before? Then he goes, do you have any children? I go, I have 2 daughters. One of them can go missing and never be found. And I go, and this is the Spirit of living God, because this isn't me talking, this is him talking, my protector. And, thou, O Lord, are a shield about me, right? And I go, yeah, I get it. You can crush me. I'm a worm. You got all the bells, but all the whistles. I'm a nobody. I'm a nothing. You can set me up. You can crush me like a worm.
And people be wanting everybody just to get on the internet and spill everything that they know, not knowing that it's a lot deeper than what you think. So hell no. For mass casualties? Oh wow.
So you're curious about the monsters at the end of the movie, The Cabin in the Woods. By monsters, I'm assuming you're referring to the beings known as the Ancient Ones, which are dormant primordial gods that can be found in every major country in the world. They are malevolent beings requiring a ritualistic blood sacrifice every year in order for them not to wake and destroy humanity. They also are the main influence for the horror genre and the monsters that are within it. And what I mean by that is that every monster and horror movie within the Cabin in the Woods universe is based off of a real life counterpart. And this is born from the thoughts and urges of the Ancient Ones. So right off the bat, you can see that the Ancient Ones are pretty sadistic. The Ancient Ones used to walk and rule over the earth until an unspecified point in which humanity emerged. And instead of immediately wiping us out, they thought it would be more entertaining to let us live, but we had to adhere to certain guidelines. The guidelines, of course, being the ritualistic blood sacrifice. But the thing is, over time, it went from simple to complex. And that's because they started to get bored. It went from being as simple as throwing somebody into a volcano to having to make these complex horror movie genre-like archetypes. That's the interesting thing, because there's multiple ancient ones in different countries. They decided to perform a different type of ceremony in each major country. Now, I don't want to make this video too long, but if you want to hear more of the lore behind the Cabin in the Woods, that's kind of interesting, just comment down below. And I appreciate all the support you guys been giving my videos. If you enjoy my content, I appreciate a follow. That movie was great. I know the ending prevents this, but I always wish they made a sequel explaining more. Technically, the ending doesn't really make it to where we couldn't have a sequel. It would just be very hard. And that's because a sequel would now revolve around us trying to survive the onslaught of the ancient gods. Remember, these are primordial gods that saw humanity first take its steps toward evolution. So the humans they dealt with then is not the humans of today. That in itself would be really cool to see on screen. Different forms of government trying to combat the ancient gods. And not only the ancient gods, we would also have to fight their creations, the monsters of the horror movies that we all know. No, really imagine an army of people trying to fight things like unicorns, giant cobras, freaking leviathans. Or they could go another route, which is probably prequels. They could make a prequel on how ancient civilizations tried to complete their own rituals. They can show the foundation in other countries and how they deal with rituals or accidents. Or they could even do it like a disaster film, showing how people are trying to figure out a way to escape or exist with the ancient ones. It'd probably still be another satirical dark comedy, but I feel like they could probably make something work. I definitely feel like people want to see more movies revolved around different rituals in different countries though.
So who I remember when they was talking about the Titans, the Giants, the Nephilim? Well, I'm gonna need y'all to look at this gargantuan ass gladiator helmet. Look at it. What's fitting that? And then if you just look at the scale of the helmet, this grown man is inside of this helmet. So that means whatever was wearing this helmet, his head was the size of a man. So I can only imagine the rest of the body. And seeing things like this, it make you think twice when you're hearing stories about the War of the Gods, the Titan Wars, or even the fallen angels when they rebelled against the Most High and went to war. This is obviously some kind of Spartan gladiator helmet for a giant man. The truth is stranger than fiction. But y'all let me know what y'all think about this Nephilim.
I think they found another Nephilim cave, y'all. Oh my God. Look at that shit. It's like a whole civilization down there or something. Y'all do understand that there's still a lot of places on this earth that has not been seen by the human eye yet? Y'all do get that, right? And let's keep it a being, y'all. This joint looked like a broken down tree. This looked like one of them trees, yo. And then I basically took a screenshot of the inside. You could basically see it's little trees and shit down there too. These type of caves, y'all, and these mega structures are all across the world, yo. And a lot of these places are nowhere near civilization, you feel me? The only way you're really gonna see this type of stuff is if you have a drone or a plane. And let's be honest, most of us don't have that. Now, I don't know if you ever heard about the Gandar giant story, but he basically came out of something like that, y'all. I'm trying to tell you, man. Wake up!
This video is pretty fascinating. This is from the group Alien Carvings. They actually do some excavation out of Mexico where they found all these relics, and they continue to go back and dig up many different artifacts and relics, some real unbelievable stuff. Take a look at this thing. Now, remember, these things are guesstimated to be from 10 to 20,000 years old. This is some type of mechanism. As you see, he's turning the lever, and it'll start to move this ball like there's some type of magnetic fixture inside that's moving it. But don't stop watching now, because this device gets a lot more complicated. As you can see, these levers he turns and it moves the ball. Look at the graphics on this thing. The graphics themselves, it seems like it tells a story. This thing dates back so far, we can't help but to start questioning human history. Is this our real history? Now, I tend to believe that there's been many before us, civilizations before us that have been wiped out and reset. Look at the gears on this thing, but now you're gonna see the best part. Yes, this whole mechanism is almost like a flashlight. It creates its own electricity and light. How is that possible? This is thousands of years before the Industrial Revolution. What civilization made these things, and what was this for? It seems like it's more than just a flashlight. There must be another purpose for this. These guys at Alien Carvings, man, they find some really unique findings. I actually sat down and talked to these guys. If you want to watch that interview, you can see it on my YouTube channel. As you know, Instagram doesn't really reward for long-term content, so make sure you stop by there and also subscribe. But make sure you follow Alien Carvings, because the stuff they find is amazing. How would you explain this? Again, look at the graphics on these things. They definitely tell a story. These resemble some of the same hieroglyphs that you see in the pyramids. Do we really know our history? Leave it in the comments. Unanswered Universe.
Hell no, everything they taught us was a lie, man. Like, I don't know how many more videos we gotta watch to understand that. Like, these people were highly intelligent. Highly intelligent. Is it man, look, I kind of think it's been us the whole time that's kept getting reset and reset and reset. Maybe we're not ready to hatch and leave the firmament yet. What do y'all think about that one? Let me know in the comments down below.
Ground, like the plasma events assert. August 10th, 2022. This was on the InfoWars. They want everyone gone when they come up or out. Last things are to break in the dumps. They want nobody up here when they come out from underground, and they will come out from underground like the plasma events assert, because that's what they've been preparing for. So to tell you that it's an alien invasion is easy, because they've been creating these creatures underground, like the Thumb People in the Spy Kids movie, the Balenciaga pictures, yes. But those are engineered biological entities with that specialized concrete system and everything else. And the Foo Fighters and the UFOs and the way that they go through the atmosphere. So, I, not knowing what you lying people were doing, I drew out what I was watching with your chaos math. Now, you're welcome for not putting the other symbology in here, but you're either a Nephilim, an actual entity looking for a body, or you're a blockchain provider waiting for these two segments and put yourself back together, or it's a full-on demon or a creature. That's a little harder because they're more physical, they're in lower planes, they're tethered lower in resonance. And then you have composite sets. When it busts apart into the cloud, the fog, like the edge flare, yeah, that's called the atmosphere. So then the narrow path is a version of you because you're not your skin. This is where Ken Wheeler talking about how You know, you are not your skin, and there's always this battle for resonance because you as a human, not an augmented human, a human, have the ability to tether at lower frequency and higher frequency simultaneously. And you can procreate, and you have empathy and creativity. They don't have any of that because they have no endocrine system. That's what I think kicked all this off, according to the Dead Sea Scrolls, but for another day. So the narrow path out with Jesus or your creator, okay, because Jesus I believe in God. So that's for me who I believe in. But every soul is different. You're going to have to walk out your path in authenticity with your soul's journey. That's why I don't get on people for their faith. That's personal. Like how you spend your money, like who you sleep with, etc. Personal. I don't want nobody else telling me what to do with my vagina. What's so crass? Yeah. And this is nasty. What is?
Right, that's how I feel, man. People be worried about the wrong stuff. Worry about your life and stop worrying about somebody else's snatch. You feel me? Like, that just be so bizarre that people just on the like this bothers me. Like, mind your damn business.
Excuse me a moment. Not quite sure where it's at. Where are all my printouts? The reason that God is the narrow path is what I'm trying to say is because that's you with your own soul, not a computer, not sitting down here worshiping idols, these metamaterials, these creatures, wanting to be in your body forever. Your skin's going to fall off. You'll be sitting there thinking you're the cat's meow because you got all this money running people around. Everybody hates you. You're doing terrible things. You're eating their children. Yeah, so this whole thing about life extension in this dimension is stupid. Now, the other thing is they suppress everybody here because they like it that way, and they create fear. What did I do with that? And that's the whole goal. They need play toys. Didn't you ever wonder why did they treat you so horrible and, you know, want to remote everybody like The Sims? Because you're not going to want to do what they want you to do. They figured that out with LSD as well. That's why everybody's on the Mu receptor responds to all of your antidepressants faster. They have optogenetics now, and they've had enough time to flood the atmosphere. But the more people on SSRIs, the easier it is to change out what they see in front of their own eyeballs, just like they were testing with the fMRI and EEG and the D-Wave chairs back when they thought they were on Mars. So because the government likes to save money, they recycle the same systems throughout history. And as I said, that's how I knew when the skiffs were rotating what to look for. Oh, okay. I'll use this one. I'll use this one in a while. So, this is what people actually need to know. They took your choice away. They're not using GPS. They're using free space optical and optical coherence routing with those biosensors for precision medicine, nanomedicine 3009, and the Internet of Behaviors. You're on the ultra-wideband. You are on a relay since 2009 for strikers and drones to hit your bones. You are the backbone because they're hijacking your central nervous system to route data. So you're the node on the network. What network? Who knows? They'll never tell you. You won't have access. It's all segmented out, so it's only for them. So they took away your choice when they went to human body communication. This is our military. They know exactly what all of this is and what it does. It's inside the college textbook with NTS-3 and all the rest. Why? Well, you started out with your autonomous weapons system in 2012. This is that Pentagon directive I've been up your ass about because I said this is really bad. And I was drawing this inside of Vicky Zelnick's kitchen when you brought in that other chick and said different things about the Tory community. Anyways, so if you don't tell people that this COVID deployment was all about a biocyber interface in which they have no escape from digital enslavement because the system is authentically under their skin, not just around their head, who are you helping? Because it's not humans and it ain't your country and, you know. So what you doing? Playing with hybrids? Yeah? Okay. Well, they call them hybrid councils, and they're using synthetic biology for wireless tissue engineering, regenerative medicine, and life extension. And you bunch of frauds out there, you've just declined to tell anybody anything real. And then what ends up happening is we get a bunch of this going on, for real. And then it turns into myth because people fight back and forth. So I'm not buying into your revelation either. What I'm telling you is humans need to get up off their knees and demand intellectual accountability for our Defense Intelligence Agency system of managing all these engineered biological entities, the openings to the stargates, It's great that we just found out about the MH370, and we now are seeing papers for D-brain dark DNA. Why don't you tell them about all these different hybrids in engineering and what you're really doing with your SpaceWorks and SkunkWorks? Because you need a fake alien invasion to bring everybody into one place, and then you're going to use the carrier waves to move them around while you re-Pangea the planet. The good guys know this. This is nothing can stop what's coming. And the idiot class that thinks they're going to do different things, they want to fight with each other, whatever. Again, whatever you do, they're going to be different for everybody, because a bunch of people are going to be augmented and they have no idea what they're even doing. They're going to be sitting in their house thinking they're battling on Azeroth, and people will be scooped up into vehicles and disappear, just like if they get on a spaceship to go to Mars. We have to survive all that into 2027. We have to get through your lying mouths for like 3 more years. So whatever it is you're going to do, all I'm asking of you, tell them what you did with their missing anatomy without acting like you're 2 years old and without denigrating academics. And I don't want to hear it from your gatekeeper class, because I don't think they're capable. They're practice liars. When you lie for that long, it's pretty hard to tell the truth, because you're just used to mixing words around. Kind of brain damaged, I think, too, but that's a different opinion with neuronal cascade. It's nothing personal. It would be nice to hear it from somebody like you, Flynn. You were the director of the DIA, right? And now you're out there writing books, etc. Like I said, if you were really on Tater Tots Twitter, that's a good idea. Post the Synergy Techmetric PDF to your Twitter. Tell people that the Techmetric PDF doesn't have my opinions in it. None. Zero. It's just tech. Vet it. Post it. Tell the truth. That would be a huge red flag to those of you who think it's going to be hybrid happy world. It would be a huge chunk of morale for any of us who do know what the heck this is and how it works. So let's see. Mark 536. Amen.
If you've ever wondered how mud could completely cover and erase the whole entire Earth, then watch this video. Of course, you should know by now that all over the world we see the same thing. Stories of building under the dirt. And I hear the same question all the time. How is that possible? How could all that mud come randomly and erase everything? I'll show you in 1 second. But just so we're aware, it wasn't just mud. It was crazy earthquakes happening all over the Earth, like San Francisco, when it was wiped off the map. A very fervent heat. Wonder where it came from. And again, earthquakes just destroying everything. Even melting Egyptian statues. That fire had to have been awfully hot to straight up melt granite and other types of rock. But we're not talking about this part of the Earth's destruction. How could mud bury everything? Do you know how fast, how crazy, how violent mudslides can be? This was in California in 2022. Like, if that went on for like another hour or two, everything would be covered. It would only take 1 split second for everything to change, and just a few generations for everybody to forget what had just happened. And it's about that time again.
姑娘，大宝，在这样发展，人类的器官会不断的移植，甚至越活越年轻，甚至会长生不老。预测呢，本世纪呢，可能另外可以活到150岁，也不能说是说没等你。
Y'all peep that? We might live 150 years. They've been doing
Vladimir
it.
Putin and Xi Jinping were caught having a hot mic moment talking about organ transplants and how nowadays you could live to 150 years old. This is what was said. Xi said, these days, 70 years old, you're still a child. Then Putin says, biotechnology is continuously developing. Human organs can be continuously transplanted. The longer you live, the longer you become, and you can even achieve immortality. Xi then says, some predict that in this century, humans will live to 150 years old.
Do y'all want to live to be 150 years old? Like, that's a long time. Let me know in the comments.
Is this why for the last decade you have global elites like Peter Thiel interested in transfusing young people's blood? And why some celebrities who have talked about using blood as a beauty hack just haven't aged. If this is the case, nobody needs to be worrying about President Trump's health because he is just middle-aged. As always, I want to hear what you think about...
There are no three-toed hominids. However, upon finding that their DNA may have been mixed with genetic technology, if you go back 1,800 years, it's crazy. It is likely that a civilization more advanced than ours made that genetic mix. And it is likely its creators are probably from elsewhere.
How specifically did the briefings detail how the aliens manipulated our genetics over the centuries?
It mentioned 65 or 63 corrections or additions to the genetic makeup that finally resulted in, a human creature.
We don't know exactly what it is that can be disclosed, but what if it turns out that we're an agricultural product? That we are being harvested for something, or we're being allowed to breed in kind of a science experiment. Let's see where this goes. And then when it's time to end the experiment, I mean, I'm not sure people can handle it. Look at how they've handled COVID.
Have you ever seen Lazar talk about the weirdest shit that he heard when he was at S4?
No, what was it?
He said the weirdest shit was they said they had a very thick file that was about religion. And basically what it boiled down to is, at least what this file was saying, was that
we're containers. That's how supposedly the aliens look at us. That we are nothing but containers. Containers of? Containers. Maybe containers of souls. You can come up with whatever theory you want, but we're containers. And that's how we're mentioned in the documents.
Let's clear something up right now, people. There are no countries. There's no United States, China, England, Russia, nothing. It's all a big joke, man. Just like, it's a curve and an angle. A checkered floor is black and white, right? One pant leg up, one pant leg down, right? It all means the same thing. 2 fingers up, 3 fingers down, right? What is it? It's the Hegelian dialectic. That's how the occult operates, and that's how the occult rules this world. Because how do they do it? Well, they have the left and the right, your friends and your foes, all working against you. And I promise you this, if you're not in the occult, take a really good look at your life. Take a really good look at the dreams that you tried to accomplish. Take a really good look at your relationships. Take a really good look at your past. And you'll find that those people, they sabotaged you. Yeah, they sabotaged you. That girlfriend, that wife, that business partner, that friend, that best friend since you were little, yeah, they sabotaged your dreams. Take a closer look at your life, people, at how this occult really operates. Everything they do is sneaky. They don't do anything above board. Everything they do is corrupt. Everything they do is a scam to set you back, right? That is how the occult rules the world. And that's how they rule the world since they eliminated everybody in Tartaria with anthrax. Yeah, anthrax. It wasn't a bubonic plague. It was anthrax. They bred herds of cattle, they dried the meat, they threw it in the well, and everybody died of fucking anthrax. Peace.
This is wild. Peter Thiel's name is an anagram for the reptile, meaning that if you take the letters in his name and scramble them around, they spell out the reptile. This is...
You kind of look like one too, I ain't gonna hold you.
It's crazy because there's a long-standing conspiracy theory that there's an elite group of people that rule the world that are shape-shifting lizards. And it's been well documented over the years. People who believe this claim that you can tell who is a reptile because they don't sweat. Because of course, either do reptiles. Juliette Bryant, one of Epstein's victims and survivors, claims that her and other victims watched Epstein and his colleagues shapeshift into a lizard, and she even drew a picture of it. Which brings us back to Peter Thiel, who recently has been in the news for having a bunch of business dealings with Epstein. Well, people might say, well, there's so many videos of him sweating, so this can't be true. But I went back and I watched all of those interviews, and there's not one instance where a bead of sweat falls from his head. It looks more like he's wearing an oily lotion because maybe his skin's so dry, if you know what I mean. This is probably just a crazy coincidence, but I'm curious, does your name spell anything out? Because mine certainly doesn't. As always, I want to hear what you think about all of this down below.
You know what though? I used to think that like at a certain point, I seen something weird when I was a child. I seen a lizard stand on his hind legs and run. It stood about 3 foot tall. It didn't mimic like a human or nothing like in the face or anything, but it definitely ran on his back legs. Me and my brother seen it. You can ask him to this day, he'll give you the same story. But I had a hard time believing that like humans can walk around and look just like us. But I tell you something, on one of my many missions that I went on when I was in the Air Force, I was in another country, I was in Jordan. This is when they were taking us to all these different bars and stuff against our will, right? But we have to try to blend in and not be disrespectful to the country and disturb, like, you know, mess up our mission essentially, right? One of the women that was taken from the United States and was trafficked out there, she told me something that was alarming to me. She told me, and it took me a while to register what she was talking about. She's like, she's afraid that, you know, they're going to do something to her, get rid of her, right? I.e., she said that they're not like us. They're not the same as us. And she just kept repeating those similar like lines. They're not like us. They're not us. It was just of that sort over and over when she got the opportunity. Fast forward to nowadays, it's like, damn. But you got to think it was nothing I can do. I can't. I couldn't. It's sad though, but let me know how y'all feel about it in the comments down below. That's a real story.
Listen up. Y'all gotta hear this.
When the pickup happens, you will first be taken to Crystal City. Once you get to Crystal City, you will get a new body. Once you land inside the Crystal City, you are greeted by the saints, many nation, kindred, and tongues. They all have palm branches in their hands. They're cheering because you graduated from Earth School. Once you make it out of this school, you can feel the difference. The frequency level on Crystal City is different. Crystal City is really re-intake to the galactic family again. Some people will be left behind. I tell you, my brothers and sisters, then shall two be in the field. The one shall be taken and the other left. Two women shall be grinding at the mill. The one shall be taken and the other left. The pickup shall happen in a twinkling. In the twinkling of an eye refers to a very short amount of time, roughly equivalent to the duration of a human eye blink, which typically lasts around 100 milliseconds, a tenth of a second, on average. There is no specific location. The pickup is based on what level your auric egg is on, your light body development. The auric egg, also known as auric envelope or atmic aura, is an akashic film surrounding all the principles of a person. It endures from life to life and preserves the karmic causes and effects generated by a person during all his incarnations. It is, so to speak, the boundary between man's spiritual being and the cosmic life. It represents a luminous, egg-shaped energy field that surrounds a person's aura, considered to be the boundary between one's physical body and their spiritual essence, storing karmic records and persisting across lifetimes, essentially acting as a protective, energetic envelope that holds one's spiritual information. The auric egg holds the records of a person's past actions and their associated karma, carrying this information across different lifetimes. The egg is part of a larger aura, a subtle energy field that extends beyond the physical body, often visualized as different colors depending on one's emotional and spiritual state. The Crystal City awaits, a glimpse of celestial splendor. As the Shams approach their destination, a collective gasp of wonder ripples through the Chosen One. For them lies Crystal City, a testament to the Anunnaki's mastery of technology and their profound connection to the cosmos. Imagine a city of towering spires, each one a multifaceted crystal catching the light of 1,000 suns. Crystal City is not merely a physical location, it is a vibrational frequency, a state of consciousness. As the Shams approach the shimmering city, a sense of homecoming washes over the Chosen Ones. Kindred spirits reunited. Upon disembarking, they are greeted by a wave of love and joy. Beings of extraordinary beauty and grace welcome them home. Imagine reuniting with loved ones, embraced by a love that transcends time. This is a reunion of souls, kindred spirits coming together.
You're about to see 10-foot tall, rocked up, black Anunnaki that look like 10-foot tall, chiseled black men and women walking off of spaceships, handing you a little thing that says, this is where you came from. Us, we created you. Black folks created you. And you're about to have your whole world flipped up the fuck side down. You better go pray to whatever God you pray to. This is about to be a reset of frequency. If your frequency ain't at a certain level, adios. See you later.
Wow. What another banger, y'all. Make sure y'all smash that like button, man. Let me know how y'all feel about this video. This right here, man, is something that I needed to put out. I had that gut feeling. And I listened to my gut. I'm no longer going to fight it. I'm going to give y'all the information. We all need to start putting get right. I'm not saying pray to whatever, you know what I'm saying? Just get right. Make sure that your frequency is right. Make sure that your energy is being, you know what I'm saying, around the right things. Don't be around people that suck the life out of you. People that just take. Because that takes what? Energy. It changes your energy, your aura. Your aura will be affected. When your aura is affected, people that are vibrating at a higher level, they can really sense it. They might not want to be around you. You want to be around like-minded people. The energy that makes you feel comfortable. You'll be in the right state of mind, and everything else will start to really work out for you in life when you surround yourself by people that's on the same level. I know me, for instance, I give y'all a personal story. I spend, and it's something that I had to work on, and I'm still currently working on, is I care too much about the people around me, and sometimes I get a little bit too more involved. I get way involved emotionally because I feel like, damn, I want this for them because this is what they speak about. This is what they want. But a lot of people don't put it in the work, don't put it in the actions, don't have the habits, and aren't going to be disciplined to get those intangibles that they want. And it's something, most of the time it seemed like I wanted more than them. So I had to start falling back from that because I'm spending too much energy on others, and it's holding me back to where I'm supposed to get. Sometimes we forget that, yeah, it's good to see people doing well around you, but at the same time, you can't sacrifice your mission for somebody else's. Maybe it's not their time to rise to that level. Maybe it was never their time. Who knows? But look, hopefully y'all got something from this video right here. I'm not trying to change y'all minds on religion, anything else like that. I'm one of those people, I don't care. I'm not judging you for believing what you want to believe in on this channel. Believe what you want to believe, man, and it is what it is. We all on our own mission, but collectively, we can vibrate at a higher level together. And I'll see you on the next video. And like I always say, spread love because there's too much hate in this world. Love you guys. See you on the next video. And I'm out, though. Bye.